They've taken this same walk up the courthouse steps every weekday for the past 2 or so weeks. And the Van Newkirk family hopes tomorrow will be the last day they have to make that walk as they await a verdict for James Bradley, the man accused of killing their loved one, Shannon Rippey Van Newkirk. It's a verdict they've waited over 3 long years for. The Van Newkirk family tells me they can finally breathe a sigh of relief knowing that James Bradley is now convicted of killing their loved one, Shannon Rippey Van Newkirk. The town of Leland saw over a 300% increase in car burglaries in 2016. Criminals got inside either by force or a simpler way, like an unlocked door. Sizable crowd this Thursday evening here at the elementary school. It's the first of 5 public meetings with developers in the room. I want to take you to the spot that developers will soon call their second home. They'll be working on this area for quite some time, 2 years to be exact. It may not look like much right now, a bunch of trees and empty space in the background, but come 2020, you're looking at the new location for Town Creek Middle School. Deliberations start back up at 9:30 tomorrow morning in the New Hanover County Courthouse, and with the possibility of a verdict coming down, I will be inside the courthouse giving you all the updates you need to know on air. That's why 10 cafeterias in Brunswick County will stay open long after break starts. Just text FOOD to 877-877. Then follow the prompts. Type in your address and your zip code for a full list of schools offering free meals for the summer of 2017. What do you think about the statements he made today through his attorney?
You want me to be honest? Screw them.
Shakisha Brown is enraged at the thought a murder's apology would change anything.
You apologize for accidentally busting a window. You cannot apologize for taking a life.
Daryl Taylor took 2 lives September 27, 2015. He shot and killed his girlfriend, Yawanda Doe, and their daughter, Dariah, just a 1.5 years old.
I hope he rots. I hope he suffers. I hope he sleeps in terror. I hope he wakes up in terror. I hope she haunts him in the mirror. I hope he chokes on something. I'm just being honest with you guys because I do not wish mercy on him whatsoever.
He'll spend the rest of his life in prison after entering a plea deal with the DA's office that took the death penalty off the table.
While there's no joy, there is justice. And hopefully we all can move forward now with legal closure, even if it's harder to heal from some wounds.
Tests from the morning of the murder show Taylor had cocaine, PCP, and THC in his system. But Brown says addiction is no excuse.
Nobody wakes up and want to go murder their entire families, you know? It's something that was already in him because he knew his time was up.
His head is held high in his mugshot, but Taylor kept his head lowered in court, avoiding the gaze of family and friends, wearing the mother and daughter on their backs in solidarity.
She saw love. She saw the all-American dream. Her husband, her children, and a little puppy down the road. But he stole that from her.
It's not often you find Garrick Newsom anywhere near a baseball field.
It's a rarity. It's hard to come back here.
Because on a baseball field 3 years ago this month, a part of Garrick was taken from him.
Instant pain, loss, because we spent a lot of time out here together.
His son Alex, just 11 years old, hit and killed by a line drive.
A nightmare for any parent. You never get over it, you just learn to live with it.
The Newsom family has to live without their Alex, a kid with a smile that lit up a room and an appetite that could fill one.
You ask any of his friends or anybody that knew him, the kid loved to eat.
That's why it's not surprising. Of all the issues he became passionate about, Alex chose child hunger.
I could tell he would always think about that. It would bother him.
He got involved in Nourish NC, and now his parents run a food drive in his honor.
We couldn't think of a better way for something like this to have formed and continue in his name.
We did it!
It's inspired kids across the county to give back.
I can see a little bit of Alex in every one of them, you know.
The memory of his son lives on through a passionate community. And with each bag, box, and can donated, the Newsoms know there's someone looking down on them with a goofy, unforgettable smile.
I hope he's proud of me, and I hope he's proud of our family. And I can't wait to see him again.
A middle school art teacher with a studio at home is hardly a surprise. It allows Sharon Wozniak-Spencer to do what she loves and eventually expand her horizon.
I wanted to improve my skills. You think you're going in one direction and then somehow you change it.
She changed plans when she left her job at Myrtle Grove Middle to pursue a grad degree. In need of a thesis idea, she found inspiration in downtown Wilmington.
We clicked because her family was a little bit like my family.
In the back of my mind, I always had remembered my mom's influence of the fact that she came from poverty.
Her portraits put a face and story to the homeless and poverty-stricken in Wilmington.
The whole part of my thesis work has always been about showing the beauty and dignity of every person.
Her first portrait is also a first for a woman behind the masterpiece.
I'd never had my portrait done, and I think she'd done a very good job.
Tony Nicholson, struggling with homelessness for the past 6 years, could put those worries aside today.
Oh, she gave me character. I love it. I told her that I wanted to get my blue eyes, and she said she's gonna make sure she got my blue eyes.
Those piercing blue eyes stand among fellow faces of courage. The artist spent 4 to 9 weeks on each one, but the impact will last a lifetime.
You know, I thought, oh wait, do I look like that? And I've come to realize, yeah, that's how she sees me. And I like the way she sees me.
And we were in the line of traffic. We were like 10 cars behind the accident. But I didn't know that was my mama.
Amy Hester didn't know her mother had just died a few yards away on Highway 87. Amy was detoured before she could see her mother's car and the cement truck she hit.
We all just kind of broke down when we knew 100% that that was her.
Devastating news after hours waiting in the hospital. They traveled back home, where tributes to her mother now cover just about every surface, and where photo albums tell the story of a woman who loved her husband.
Yeah, I wore them all the time.
Red suspenders and all.
She knows I love her, and always have loved her. I mean, she was the best thing that ever happened to me. But yeah, I love that woman. I love her to death.
44 years of unconditional love. In that time, they added 2 kids to the family and a best friend, Cindy Turner, who's coping.
I still call these messages on her cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
The only way she knows how.
It just makes me feel better to know, because I know she can hear me.
A preacher at 2 different churches, Elizabeth Kane heard the prayers of hundreds.
If they had something going on, she was in church.
Absolutely.
Now her family leans on their own spirituality to guide them through these rocky times. As close as she was then to where her mother died, Hester knows now she will never be far.
This morning I was in the shower singing I'll Fly Away. That was her favorite song. I miss her. I'm always going to miss her. But I know she's in a better place.
All right, so here we are.
Inside this labyrinth of bike wheels and spare parts, you'll find what keeps the wheels turning in Leah Sherrill's head.
Your goal in every day should just be to help out your neighbor.
Her neighbor Stephanie is disabled and had a tough time finding a job, so Cheryl took matters into her own hands.
All right, there you go.
Her organization, Special Pedals, employs disabled adults.
It was just for one individual, and then I realized there was like a whole population of people that needed the same thing that Stephanie needed.
Thanks to Leah, Stephanie is one of 6 mechanics recycling, repairing, and restocking bikes. But perhaps Cheryl's biggest impact on the disabled community comes from 4 wheels in perfect condition.
Say hey, y'all.
Addison Chisholm waves at the camera, thrilled to be out and about. Addie was born just over a pound and diagnosed with spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. She's confined to her wheelchair, but she's here, alive, and a superhero.
How come you're not sweating, Addie?
On this scorching day, but even the toughest 8-year-old girls could use a sidekick.
It doesn't matter what kind of day you're having whenever you show up. She's going to be happy, and she's going to brighten your day and remind you why we're all here.
Cheryl met Addie when she interned at Ogden Elementary's adaptive classroom. Addie spent a lot of time inside, but once again, Cheryl took matters into her own hands.
And she's like an adrenaline junkie and a beach bum, so that just wasn't going to work.
Addie has been living the dream the past 2 summers, conquering the slides at Jungle Rapids.
We got on there and she just laughed and laughed and laughed.
And tackling a tall cup of froyo. You won't hear her screams of joy, but you can sure see the smile.
So she's just so much more aware than her, her physical limitations allow her to show.
With wisdom beyond her years, Cheryl says Addie has taught her valuable lessons about the disabled community. And near the end of the interview, Addie decided it was time to put her foot down.
And Addie's like, it's time to go.
Time for the next adventure. Just a superhero and her trusty sidekick.
Addie Waddy.